आणि सुरू करा तुमचं सर.
रेकॉर्डिंग सुरू झाले मला वाटतं.
सुरू झाले, रेकॉर्डिंग सुरू झाले. आता तुम्ही सुरू सुरू आहे.
30 मिनिटं मिळतील.
आता कंटिन्यू करा.
सगळ्यांना आवाज ऐकू येतोय? आता म्यूट असल्यामुळे
नाही, म्यूट आहे सगळे.
आपण आज आयर्न अँड स्टील हा टॉपिक सुरू करणार आहोत. हा टॉपिक होऊन जवळपास 3 महिने झालेले आहेत. त्यामुळं हा टॉपिक आपण रिव्हिजन टाईप आज घेणार आहोत. आयर्नची पोझिशन जर बघितली आपण पिरियोडिक टेबलमध्ये, तर आयर्न आपल्याला माहित आहे हॅव्हिंग ॲटॉमिक नंबर 26, ॲटॉमिक वेट 55.845, स्टेबल कॉमन ऑक्सिडेशन स्टेट्स +2 आणि +3 आहेत, दॅट इज फेरस अँड फेरिक. आणि याचं इलेक्ट्रॉनिक कन्फिगरेशन इन टर्म्स ऑफ आर्गॉन कोअर 4s2 3d6 बिकॉज इट इज अ 3d ब्लॉक एलिमेंट. आपल्याला माहित आहे की iron is highly reactive element that is found on earth. Because of its reactivity, it easily combines with non-metallic stuff from the atmosphere, that is oxygen, sulfur, carbon dioxide, sulfide, etc. And it forms a complex form of the iron. Hence, iron does not occur in nature in free state. It is always in the form of a combined state. In the form of combined, it do occurs in the form of oxides, in the form of carbonate, in the form of sulfides. The two major oxides of iron are hematite and magnetite. Hematite is having the composition as Fe2O3, what we call as ferric oxide, and magnetite having the composition as Fe3O4, what we call this as a ferroferric oxide. Another form of iron is limonite, having the composition as Fe2O3 X H2O or n number of H2O molecules. So if ferric oxide contains n number of water molecules, then it is the ore of iron is known as a limonite. It also occurs in the form of its carbonate, that is known as a siderite, that is FeCO3 ferrous carbonate. When iron combines with sulfur, atmospheric sulfur, it forms the corresponding pyrite ore of iron, that is FeS2, which is known as iron pyrites. Another form of sulfide ore of iron is known as chalcopyrites, which is having the formulas CuFeS2. So in the beginning we have seen that iron do occur in the form of oxides, that is hematite, magnetite, in the form of limonite containing water molecules, and siderite, ferrous carbonate, and sulfide, that is iron pyrites and chalcopyrites. There are 3 different varieties of iron. These 3 varieties strictly depend upon the percentage of impurities those are present in the iron. The impurity, especially carbon. So with respect to the impurity, that is a carbon that is present in iron, there are 3 different varieties of iron. The first variety of iron, that is known as a cast iron. Second variety is known as a steel, and third variety is known as a wrought iron. As we know that these 3 varieties are made strictly depending upon the percentage of impurity, especially carbon, that is present. So the first variety, that is known as a cast iron, or which is also known as a pig iron, having the highest percentage of carbon that ranges from 2.5% to 5%. The second variety is known as a steel, having 0.2 to 1.5% of carbon. And the third variety known as a wrought iron having lowest percentage of carbon, that is 0.1 to 0.2% carbon. This is regarded as the purest variety of iron because it contains very least percentage of impurity in the form of carbon. And cast iron is regarded as the most impure form of iron containing highest proportion of carbon, while steel lies intermediate between the two. Now, if we take a look at the extraction of iron from its naturally occurring substance, that is either hematite or magnetite, the method that is only used worldwide is used as a blast furnace. As we know that the oxide form of iron, that is hematite and magnetite, namely Fe2O3 and Fe3O4, the ore named as hematite, that is Fe2O3, contains highest proportion of iron, and hence most of the iron manufacturing industries, they use the starting material as hematite, because if we look at the percentage abundance of iron on earth's crust, it is seen that oxygen occupies the first position in its occurrence, next to which silicon is there, that occupies the second position, and third position that is occupied by aluminum in its abundance, and iron is the fourth most abundant metal that is found on earth. With regard to the percentage of iron that is present in its naturally occurring substance, that is hematite, having maximum percentage of iron, hence it is used in the manufacturing process. The extraction of iron from its naturally occurring ore, that is hematite, can be carried out in two different steps. The first step is a concentration of the ore, and second step, that is reduction, which is carried out in blast furnace. In the first step, the concentration of ore involves three important stages. The first step is a gravity separation. Second step is a magnetic separation. And third step is a calcination. In the first step of the concentration of ore, that is known as a gravity separation, here a specially designed Wilfley table is used. In this case, the ore, as it is a naturally occurring, the ore is first of all finely ground or finely powdered, and this finely grind or finely powdered ore is admitted on the top of the slanting table, where it is well equipped with a stream of water through nozzles, and this water flows through a very high pressure. The powdered ore and the stream of water are simultaneously delivered. Because of the vibrations of this table, the straw particles, clay particles which are adhering to the iron, those are washed away easily by a stream of water, and iron is collected at one receiving end. This is the method which is used to remove the clay particles, sand particles, and the straw, those are adhere with the ore. After which this ore is subjected for magnetic separation. As we know that iron is a magnetic, and hence the powdered ore directly from gravity separation method is now allowed to pass through another method that is known as the magnetic separation. Here, if you look at I want to show you the slide. This is a diagrammatic representation of can you see this diagram? This is diagrammatic representation.
Nice. Screen share. Diagram is nice.
Let me minimize. Diagram दिसते? Hello?
दिसतंय.
हा
Diagram
दिसते हो सर.
दिसते diagram.
दिसतंय.
दिसते.
So this, before this, see this diagram where I have given the reference of the magnetic separation. Here, this diagram of magnetic separation that involves two pulleys. Here, this is the first pulley, which is a non-magnetic, and this is second pulley, which is a magnetic. When the powdered ore from the top of this uh, non-magnetic belt, it is admitted from the top. Here, when the second pulley, that is this second pulley, which is known as a magnetic pulley, when it is given a rotation through a electric motor, then when the ore comes near the magnetic pulley, it is automatically, the magnetic part of the ore is automatically attracted by this pulley and it falls in a separate heap, while the non-magnetic portions falls in this case here in a separate heap, and magnetic portion falls in a separate heap. So this is how a separation of a magnetic material from non-magnetic material is done here. After magnetic separation, this ore is now subjected for the reverberatory furnace. In reverberatory furnace, here, can you see the diagram? Pradeep?
दिसतंय सर.
This is the diagram.
दिसतंय सर.
Okay. In
Ah,
this, in this case, in this reverberatory furnace, calcination is carried out. Calcination is the process by which the ore is heated at very low temperature. The purpose of this reverberatory furnace is that it removes the volatile impurities from the ore. If you see in this diagram, this is a charging door D1, this is charging door D2, and this is charging door D3. The peculiarity of this reverberatory furnace is that here the top of this reverberatory furnace, which is here dark portion, this top portion of this reverberatory furnace is aligned with a refractory material such as fire bricks. The another peculiarity of this process is that here the ore does not comes in direct contact with the heat, but it is admitted through the door D1, D2, and D3, and it is kept at the bottom portion of this reverberatory furnace, which is shown here. And here, this reverberatory furnace, the word, it is actually Greek word, reverberates means reflects. So here, in this process, reflected heat that falls on the ore. Here, if you see this diagram, from the bottom of this, fire is admitted inside, and from the top of this reverberatory furnace, the flue gases, those are escaped through this opening. So when the ore is admitted inside this reverberatory furnace, a blast of hot blast of air that is admitted from the bottom of this, and when this blast of air that falls on the ceiling of this reverberatory furnace, the heat is automatically reflected on the ore that is kept at the bottom portion of this reverberatory furnace. So due to reflected heat, the volatile impurities are removed. So in the first step, the ore is concentrated with respect to the ore or with respect to the metal. That means here almost all the impurities are removed, such as volatile impurities are removed through reverberatory furnace. The non-magnetic portion that is present in the ore, that is removed by magnetic separation method, and the clay particles, sand particles, and the other adhering materials such as clay particles, those are removed by using the gravity separation method. Now the ore is subjected for the next, that is, it is admitted inside the blast furnace. We have seen this blast furnace. As we know that this blast furnace is a, this blast furnace, if you see the construction of this blast furnace, that it is a tall cylindrical type of structure, erected structure, which is having the parts which are shown here. This blast furnace is a tall cylindrical type structure about 90 to 100 feet in height, while the diameter of this furnace is about 15 to 24 feet in diameter. The blast furnace is a specially designed. If you see the designing of this blast furnace, it is seen that the furnace is narrowed towards top and also at the bottom. This is particularly designed so as to produce proper supply of heat for the ore. So when the pyrometallurgical processes are in progress, the ore should come in intimate contact with the hot blast of air. The blast furnace is aligned inside with refractory materials such as fire bricks, and here at the blast furnace is conveniently divided into three parts, as we have seen that the uppermost part, that is known as the throat of the furnace, the middle portion, that is known as the body of the furnace, and lower portion, it is known as a hearth. So the blast furnace is conveniently divided into three parts: the upper portion, that is the throat; middle portion, that is the body; and lower portion, that is known as the hearth. The blast furnace is having the opening near the throat of the furnace, where the gases which are produced during the heating process, those escape through this opening near the throat of the furnace. Also, you can see this is a hot air blast through which it is admitted inside, which are known as a tuyeres. So there are a number of such pipes are there through which the hot blast of air that is admitted inside this blast furnace. The charge of this blast furnace, which consists of the 8 parts of calcinated ore, which is intimately mixed with 4 parts of coke, that is carbon, and it is mixed again with 1 part of calcium carbonate. So 8:4:1, that is calcinated ore, coke, that is carbon, and 1 part of lime, that is CaCO3, calcium carbonate. This calcium carbonate felicitates the formation of a slag, that is the unwanted impurities which are associated with the iron, those are removed easily in presence of this calcium carbonate. So calcium carbonate, that is the lime, helps for the easy removal of the impurities during this pyrometallurgical processes. If we see the bottom portion of this blast furnace, it is having one opening at the top and another opening at the bottom. These two openings are known as the tap holes. The lower tap hole is used to remove the molten metal, because molten metal is having definitely higher density, while the slag that is formed, molten slag, it is having lower density. So due to differences in the densities of molten metal and the slag, we can easily separate the slag from the molten metal. Here, the two openings which are contained by this blast furnace, this is known as the well of the furnace. So it is just like the well that we are having. This well is having these two openings also. Now here, if we see the another diagram, just a minute. Just see this diagram. This is again a schematic representation of the same blast furnace. Here we can see that there are different temperature zones are there. So because different temperature zones are there, different chemical reactions are also taking place in different zones. So here the zone which ranges from 300 to 800, this is known as the first zone, that is known as a zone of reduction. The second zone, which ranges from 800 to 1200 degrees centigrade, is known as a zone of heat absorption. The third zone, that is known as the zone of fusion, it is ranges from 1200 to 1500 degrees centigrade. जर समजा आता हे आपलं कन्व्हर्सेशन जर इथंच थांबलं तर आपण सेम पार्ट आपण उद्याला सुरू करणार आहे. ओके किरण सर, हॅलो.
हा सर बोला. हा बोला सर.
कंटिन्यू करायचं झालं तर
अजून 2 मिनिटं.
हां
अजून 9 मिनिटं आहेत.
9 मिनिटं आहे. इथं 5 मिनिटं दाखवत होतं. 9 मिनिटं.
आणि जर हा
ओके, ठीक आहे. विल कंटिन्यू.
9 मिनिटं पण.
So there are three temperature zones. First is at the top, which is having 300 to 800, known as zone of reduction. Second zone known as a zone of heat absorption, ranges from 800 to 1200 degrees centigrade. And third zone, which ranges from 1200 to 1500 degrees centigrade, known as a zone of fusion. Now here it is seen that in this case, if we see the previous diagram, just see the previous diagram. स्लाइड थोडीशी स्टक झालेली आहे.
हँग झालं.
जरा हँग झाली. एस्केप केलं तरी पण हँग.
2 मिनिटं वेट करा, येते ते बरोबर. पण काय असेल.
टाइम रिमेनिंग 7 minutes. कंटिन्यू काय करायचं असेल तर काय इन्स्ट्रक्शन देऊन तिथे.
जर मुलांनी ॲपमधून बाहेर यायचं नाही आणि तुम्ही परत जॉईन करा.
हां,
कंटिन्यू होते.
तो उद्याला कंटिन्यू करू संपल्यानंतर.
उद्या करा मग कसं पण.
उद्याला करू कंटिन्यू.
ते अजून आपण ट्रायल बघायला पाहिजे ते होते कसं.
स्टॉप स्लाइड शेअर करून परत मी पॉवर पॉईंट ओपन करतो.
हां चालेल.
So these are the reactions which are taking place in the blast furnace. Here, I would like to show you one video where you can clearly understand how the blast furnace works. Let me show the video. This is a video of how the blast furnace works. Just see the video. या व्हिडिओमध्ये बघितलं असाल तुम्ही की जे hearth of the furnace, that is the bottom portion of the furnace here, that forms two different layers because molten iron is having higher density that sinks to the bottom of this hearth, and the slag, as it is a lighter, it forms a upper layer. एक 2 मिनिटं राहिलेले कॅनोडे सर, तर सगळ्यांना
हा सर बोला सर. तुमच्याकडनंच होणार, शेअर स्क्रीन बंद केल्याशिवाय मला काही करता येणार नाही. शेअर स्क्रीन स्टॉप करा.
हां, ओके.
हॅलो, सगळेजण स्वतःचा म्यूट काढू शकताय, तुमच्याकडे पण ऑप्शन आहे.
आता 1 मिनिट राहिला, तुम्हाला काही शंका असेल तर विचारून द्या, तर उद्याला 11 वाजता परत सुरू करणार आहे. ओके
ओके सर.
हां. एकच मिनिट राहिलं.
सर
हां
तुमचं आता झालं, मीटिंग झाली, लिव्ह केलाय का नाही,
हां,
तर ऑटोमॅटिक डाउनलोड
रेकॉर्डिंग स्टॉप.